You likely know the Exodus story. The wilderness experience that followed left those freed Hebrews longing for the flesh pots of Egypt, the carnivorous food they'd grown accustomed to there. Post-rescue, when living on healthful manna miraculously provided by God to detox their bodies and minds from the garbage they had been eating, they asked, "Why came we forth out of Egypt?" Those who know that story have probably wondered, how could they even think that, let alone ask that? And why in the world would they ever want to go back? We may have haughtily looked down our noses at them, but has history ever repeated itself in our own lives? Have we ever looked back or actually gone back after being rescued? Many of us have had our own Exodus experience. We likely weren't rescued from the actual country of Egypt, but perhaps from unhealthful situations in bad locations. And the Lord, in His mercy and power, led us out. Initially relieved and thankful, it was tempting to later become ungrateful and grumble to ourselves and even to our Father in heaven, daring to wonder and even ask why we came forth from captivity. What is in the human heart that desires what's bad for us? What is this bent towards self-destruction? We're told it's iniquity, our carnal heart, our sin nature, the natural inclination or bent toward whatever is sinful. But after God lovingly shows us what's better, why do we ever give in to even one lustful desire? It's certainly not because we're helpless. When connected to Christ, we're victorious. It's actually because part of us still wants whatever or whomever we've allowed ourselves to be in bondage to. We've thus often chosen that thing or things, that sin, that person, that deadly habit, over our Creator. How incredibly sad. Can you imagine how sad that makes Him? Similar to how God gave the Israelites what they clamored for, He often lets us have what we want to let us see for ourselves the ugliness of it. One modern-day Exodus experience for Christians is akin to fleeing ancient Egypt, obeying or not the counsel to flee the cities. Not neglecting outreach to those who dwell in large cities, of course, but not dwelling in cities ourselves. That very wise counsel is meant to spare us from the various corrupting urban influences and practices that seriously damage our health, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Have you already come out of Egypt, so to speak, by moving from a corrupted city to the countryside? If so, good for you. If not, it's something to strongly consider. But here's something else to consider. If you're in your country home, but wishing you were living in the city, or you're dreaming of a bloody steak while crunching on a healthy carrot, then Egypt is figuratively still in your heart and apparently still in your stomach. You're still its captive. We may be out of Egypt, but is Egypt out of us? Let's each pray that our carnal hearts and minds will be transformed to be like the heart and mind of Christ, and that we'll no longer yearn for what is evil, dark, and destructive, but what is pure, holy, and heavenly. Let's all ask the Lord to remove all traces of hungering for the worldly things of Egypt, so there won't be any sinful hankerings of the heart to follow us wherever we flee. For wherever we go, there we are.